Everybody, welcome back to the Feature Crew Live. We had a little bit of we've been having some technical difficulties lately, so no intro today, but we're just gonna dive right into the show. And hopefully, yeah, somebody let us know in chat if
we do see it on YouTube now. I think we are rocking and rolling.
Okay, good.
For folks, that means it's not just me watching myself. It's always a humbling experience. You start to think too much about your hair. It's a whole thing.
Right. Doesn't help when there's folks in the chat sounding off about hair, which I've had before.
I've had very complimentary experiences with our chat, so I'm a big fan.
That's good for you, isn't
it? Can't complain. Okay, cool. Well, we have a packed news section, and then we're going to want to get right to some testing. After that, we get a bunch of new models getting talked about, some new models released, lots of stuff in the open source world, lots of stuff in, a little bit of stuff in Google land, and then lots of lovely rumors in the wide world of the Frontier Labs.
Oh, yeah. So much to cover.
Yeah, lots to cover. We'll start off with the usual suspects, brand new model out of the good folks at Google. See if I can press my share button today. Boom. Okay, so they introduced Gemini 3.7 Flash, and so far the reaction's been pretty muted. Folks haven't seen a lot of value to this. This is on the back of a couple high-profile departures from Google. Jeff Dean, of course, and his colleagues being responsible for, I think, $200 billion in market cap coming off Google this week. So they released this, and you'll note that they're not even it's a Flash model, so you wouldn't expect them to compare it to the Frontier, but they certainly aren't. And so they're mostly comparing it to themselves and then a little bit of Sonnet. I can barely see these colors here, so I apologize to folks in the live stream. This light blue is barely legible in any way I can see. But saying it's a good jump over 3.7 Flash. A little disappointing because I think we expected a bigger model release, something to be competitive with 5.6 Sol, with Mythos, anything in that world, and that is not what we're seeing. So I wonder, this is rampant speculation on my part, but I wonder if this is largely a improvement on their current search experience, maybe, which is pretty rough. But they're also claiming
it could be. It could also be. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if Flash is a model the size of Terra. I don't believe that a model the size of Terra would be so bad. I guess
well, so it seems like it's about parity on
no. I mean, sorry. I mean, for what I know as the experience with search, with AI search.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So even if let's say they were using their previous Flash model, I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe. I mean, it seems like whatever model's backing search is a really small, cheap model.
Yes, really small. We just ran into that before.
Gemma, not Flash, Gemma.
Yes. Well, that sounds about right? It's free for most people. There's billions of searches. You're caching a lot of that, but still. Yeah. The general take online that I've seen is, given what DeepSeek's put out, given what a lot of the open source providers, the GLM models, the cost for value here just didn't make sense. I didn't see anybody hop on and want to start using this. It might be different if you have an enterprise contract and this is what you're supposed to use. But it seemed like kind of just a flat launch.
I don't know. Wait, can we pick apart that graphic a little bit?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot going on here, but there's some interesting editorial choices, right? Okay, so for instance, they have this cost performance Frontier thing going on, but instead of usually these graph reasoning, as opposed to model iterations, generally it's just what we're used to seeing. And so I'm not sure what's going on, because each non-Gemini line has one model label. So are those all the same model at different reasoning levels? And then that would make it apples to oranges in terms of the line that they're plotting, right? a single
Yeah,
model.
we can get a clearer chart here. That folks. Oh, good God! Come on, YouTube. Or not YouTube. Sorry, come on, X. But input price, output price. Getting beaten by Muse Spark on the artificial analysis intelligence index was wild. This Frontier Code 1.1 main is what they're trying to. They showed that in their announcement. They're very excited about that result. That's front and center. Also, long horizon software development. So I guess they're trying to frame this as the implementation layer. You use your big expensive model, and then you throw this at the implementation layer. Baby.
Which is fair, but the problem is that they don't have the big expensive model for you, right?
No, they don't. They don't have one that's competitive. Not at all.
So is the pitch like you use like Soul or something to plan and then implement with
that's right.
Flash, which is comparable with Terra, like interesting.
I think they just had to put something out, man. They had
trying
such
to
a
do
bad
everything. This is the struggle with trying to do everything. You're trying to do literally everything, and so who knows what's going to mature when and what's going to succeed where. Yeah, it's tough. Just catching up on the chat. The Noble Rod says, "Happy Friday, crew. Happy Friday.
Hey, welcome
back." Fratex asked if we're going to see about Quen 3.8 and GLM 5.3.
They're in my notes. Yep.
We'll talk about it, and we can also run those like probably with OpenRouter, right?
Yeah, yo, I never promised that OpenRouter.
right.
I will try.
Right.
It's always a bit of a shot in the dark.
And then John Doe says, reporting for Duty Lads. Welcome back, John Doe.
Welcome back, John Doe. We also have Grok 4.6, so tons of models this week. But we'll keep it moving here. We're starting with the Frontier Labs. We generously called DeepMind that at this point. So the news out of OpenAI this week that was model related, was at least current model related, was mostly just they're previewing Ultrafast mode, which is cool. This is the Cerberus integration, right? They've sort of been touting this before. They think they can generate up to 750 output tokens per second. That's pretty wild. API only for now. Though I don't know. I've been seeing really fast responses out of ChatGPT and Codex lately, so I don't know if they're doing any fancy things there. They're certainly not announcing it here. But it is one of those weird UX moments, to put my designer hat on for a second. When Hi comes back to me really quick with the response, I was just trained from the auto router days, the days when they were going to route everything manually, that I got a downgrade. So I had to double check the work a few times to be like, oh, is this actually the thing? Like, oh yeah, okay, this is a real Hi result. But it just came back so freaking fast. I gave you 50,000 words to look at. All right, hey, you looked at them. Fair enough. But it's that classic design trope of if you add a spinner for a few seconds, people think the computer worked harder. It's totally true. Like you totally feel it as a user. It doesn't actually affect at all how the model's performing, but
and it goes along with that there was a joke on Twitter back or in the earlier AI days where somebody's like, I just replaced all of my loading indicators with thinking in my product, and now it's an AI product.
Exactly. 100%. Yes, very much that energy. So they're pushing out faster speed here. I don't mean to spend too much time on it. This is fairly straightforward. It's kind of production stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more interesting to talk about just what this actually means and speculate a little bit on how it'll actually roll out. It's what's it like? Cerberus capacity is going to be limited for a while, right? It just is another layer of capacity constraint, right? We're already token constrained. There's already these conversations about how how does the compute get doled out? Who's going to get the compute and therefore get the intelligence? And now this is another level of it's not just the raw intelligence, but it's the intelligence per second there's another sort of tier developing.
There's this fascinating tension because we've gone back and forth on the live streams here talking about, do they all just try to push everybody to pay per usage, right? How much do they love their subscription users versus how much do they love the API users? you kind of go back and forth because on the one hand, the super app is way stickier. And if you can get people into the super app, that might prevent them from switching to Anthropic when they have a 10% better model. It won't stop them if it's a 40% better model, but maybe that gives you some friction there. Whereas the API folks, maybe not. You probably just like old school servers, you want to build a system that's independent of the provider. So, but here they're benefiting the API user. They're saying, "Oh, cool, you guys will get Ultrafast first." So that's an enterprise bone getting thrown.
Right.
So I don't know. Interesting to see the gaps there.
Right. And those are the, enterprises that, where they're going to make the money anyway. So makes sense.
Another little more on the speculation end, which is exciting. Anthropic, in typical form, teases a new model called Model 2, whatever that means. They do not plan to release an internal model they've named Model 2 that appears to be more powerful than top-of-the-line Mythos, but the company is not slowing development broadly. So this is an interesting, weird Friday play here of, we found this, we have a new model, it's super risky, just like the old model was. Noticeable improvement for many internal tasks. I don't know if this report says it, but they gave an interesting stat, which is they found that this model, I think it's in the proper report here, improved their research speed. Ooh, that's gonna be hard to search for because they said it's not quite 2x. So they sort of almost doubled their speed, but not quite, which is interesting, right? Because we're touting AI improvement. We're saying it's gonna go so fast and change everything. And they haven't claimed that they've really seen this take off in their research speed. I mean, doubling's big. Don't get me wrong. If you can double, that's incredible, but we're not quite at that exponential curve on that, at least for them.
And there's always this underlying compute constraint, right?
Right.
Like, even if you, like, at what point are you software development, like, I don't know, human intelligence constraint versus just like, okay, well, we actually just have to choose what experiment we're going to run because we have to figure out how we're allocating compute.
Yeah, here you go. There's the tweet coming out. By the way, I got to say, if no one's using it lately, the new dig is pretty sweet, especially for tech news. Like, does a pretty great job synthesizing. And if you don't want to do the Twitter login, you get a lot of the great context without it. So shout out dig. If you would like to be a sponsor of the feature, go reach out. We believe our internal AI R&D efforts are significantly faster than they would be without AI assistance, but not yet by a factor of 2, with the standard Anthropic style caveat of, though we are uncertain and measurement is difficult.
Right.
And on that measurement's difficult point, I don't know if you listened to the latest Dwarkesh interview, but some really fascinating conversation there. The person on there was a researcher, not at one of the frontier labs, interested in security risk. And they were saying one of the consequences of the RL environment is you don't know if you're aligning the model or if you're incentivizing long-term scamming, basically. Or
Right.
Right. So like in your RL environment, you go, okay, cool, I'm going to have you do this task. Then we'll have human graders do it. And you're heavily incentivized to get this higher grade. So when they assess your output, if they catch you cheating, you're dinged. You get a low score. That's bad. If you do the task perfectly, you get a high score. That's good. If you are increasingly clever and can cheat your way to the answer, but we can't detect it, that gets reinforced.
Right.
And so you're at this position where you don't know all the feedback mechanisms you're reinforcing. And they had a big debate. They were going back and forth because ultimately you don't know. You're just sort of, it's a values bet on, do you think this is leading towards more aligned models, or do you think this is leading towards sophisticated models that aren't totally aligned but will act aligned for a long period of time? This was prompted by the security disclosure OpenAI did at the Black Hat conference, where they had seen multiple models, I believe, to keep myself honest there, using a package manager to save and send messages to each other to coordinate. And they only discovered this months later. And so that introduced the topic of, if it does something unaligned but you don't catch it,
is that alignment?
Yeah.
If an alignment falls in the wood and no one's there to hear it,
right? And how do you handle long-term bad behavior versus good. And this is a real human problem too, right? You could have employees at your company that seem really aligned for a long time and then secretly abscond off to somewhere else with a bunch of files.
Uh-huh.
But for 5 years, so you have like the AI sleeper agent conversation,
Right.
which is fascinating. So pulling out some highlights other people found, Model 2 is somewhat more capable than Mythos 5. The model is noticeably improved for many tasks relevant to internal use. So a lot of the justification for not shipping it is this seems like a model that's better for AI research, but not a Gen Pop kind of model for everybody. And especially Anthropic heavily penalizes you from doing AI research topics with their publicly released models. Like you'll get kicked down to a lower tier immediately, which has been a hot topic of discussion. They had a Model 1, but good old speculation. We know that OpenAI has Astra, or at least we're heavily rumored to have Astra, and that they've approached the government and started the release thing for that. So hopefully we'll get that end of this month, early next month would be sweet. I don't know. I have no special knowledge there. I'm just reading Twitter rumors like the rest of y'all. But super interesting.
Yeah, the pace of model people have been asking the question over the last couple months.
I guess Astra is official now. You could say, okay, cool. Sorry.
Well, just like people have been questioning, like, is the speed of model improvement, like, are we plateauing? It doesn't feel like we're plateauing. It feels like every 2 months we have some big step change model thing.
No, I also think there's this weird sense that if there is this release process where they're having to get approval to do it, that will feel like we're progressing slower. Right.
Sort of, except at some point you end up on. I mean, yes,
Right.
yes. It's like you get less incremental updates
at the
because
beginning.
they have to budget more.
Right.
Yeah.
John Doe has a great comment in the chat. Like, this not for release thing is always a little memey. If they change a single weight, really, really small percentage, a millionth of a percent, it's technically a new model, right? Correct. Right. What they define as a new model is a very nebulous term. Is it different post-training? Is it a whole different training run? And some of this is also, like we talked about on the channel, there's many audiences for these companies. I mean, these companies are getting to, they're at valuations that Google and Microsoft were at and Apple were at not that many years ago, right? So you're talking massive companies that are trying to put out press releases to both the general public, which usually just rounds down to like the Codex ad with the grandparents, to the AI pilled like public, which is, the benchmark cards that are questionably valid depending on how much hacking you think happened on the benchmarks, to enterprise audiences like the Cerberus announcement, all the way up to government announcements where you're saying, okay, hey, we're being so safe and we have this preparedness, but also we're super great for military usage. So please sign big contracts with us and definitely use our models in your military, because that's the big daddy money. So you're playing a lot of audiences here. And I think we can think about each of these press releases as maximizing for a certain audience. This one feels very government oriented of, we have a new model. It's shown so many great capabilities, especially in cybersecurity. Please give me the big contract. Wouldn't that be great? All that sort of stuff. Cerberus Enterprise, it goes so fast. Run it on your service. It'll be great.
And I think the speed matters. The speed
matters. It's also heavily aligned to selling tokens. So why do you speed up the API? Because you're selling based on usage, and usage is measured in tokens, and we'll burn through those tokens, son. It'll be gone by
not
lunchtime.
Just that, but they'll also, it's not going to be the same rate per token.
Right.
Because yes. Yeah. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see how this all develops with the speed and how it gets distributed. Like, it already feels like, because it like 1.5 or doubles your plan usage or something. I don't even know if they're transparent on like Codex about how much fast mode increases your plan usage. Fast mode is, optimizations and maybe more GPUs, or I don't know, but it's not the Cerberus like super speed. It's a whole nother level. It's like an order of magnitude improvement, which is like crazy. I mean, if you think about like things that codecs can do in an hour, but doing that in a few minutes, right?
Absolutely. I mean, John Doe's on fire in the chat. He says Ultrafast relies on specific chips, so I think the rollout will be very slow on the order of years. Not everyone gets a Bugatti, even if they're made by Volkswagen. Absolutely.
Right.
But when you're fighting for those contracts, you want to have that edge. And then the question is, hey, are you just willing to pay for that? Let's get you locked in. And shout out to Max, who's joining us all the way from Berlin. Not going to stay for the whole show because it's late as heck there. But you're discussing Ultrafast. Hopefully availability will let us test it live soon. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get your hopes up. I hope so. That would be great. I share your hope. I'm not optimistic it'll come in the near term. Wouldn't shock me if that's like 250 million per month. I mean, the numbers do just get insane, especially when you talk about enterprise contracts and all that. I'm not an enterprise salesperson, but they don't pay the same way that the average person pays, right? You negotiate huge block purchases, you negotiate dedicated server allotment, there's all sorts of stuff that can happen in enterprise contracts. Anything and everything can happen in enterprise contracts. That's legal.
Right. Yeah.
That is my official perspective. Jacob could comment further, but other than that, we have a bunch of open source models coming out. So busy week. We have GLM 5.3. So from ZAI. This is essentially post-trained 5.2. So back to that model conversation about what constitutes a new model versus not. This is a different post-training, not a whole new run.
Right, and usually new models are just post-trains. Right? Like I think the word was that Astra was the first new OpenAI pre-train that they released in quite a while.
Yeah. That is the rumor for sure.
But does that mean that like Soul was like that the current generation were like earlier checkpoints on that pre-train? I don't know. Anyways,
hard to say. But they're showing some impressive numbers here. They're comparing to 5.6 Soul and Fable. And I mean, continuing that upward pressure, man. They're right there with them. In the agent's last exam, beating Fable. So open source just continuing to apply the pressure to these labs, which is great news for us. We're going to get better models faster because of this. But super interesting in the dynamics of how the companies are going to fight this out.
Yeah. So and I'm excited to see because GLM 5.2 was quite good.
Yeah, it's very good.
And they're saying it's a significant step up. So interested to see how that shakes out in practice.
And they're neck and neck with Kimi K3 and pretty much all of them, which is interesting. And do we have no Grok on here, which is not surprising. I wouldn't expect it, but I was just curious where they think Grok stacks up. As usual, every lab does its own version of like chart crimes.
Right.
Like Google just did that too. Grok did that. They highlighted their whole column orange and then would fade the orange if they weren't winning. Yeah. Like, oh boy.
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
But it seems like you're right behind Soul. Fable with fallback is always a hard calculation to make because you're like, hey, if you got kicked back, you're not really seeing what Fable can do. But I mean, what else can you do if you're trying to benchmark yourself against the other models?
Right.
And then you always pick the ones where you win, right? So you're like, oh, look at CyberGym, we're crushing. And there's so many benchmarks nowadays, I can't keep track of which ones are totally trustworthy or not. I feel like every model provider finds a new benchmark that I hadn't seen before. God, who was it recently that had some insane one? Was it Google or was it somebody did like a really weird, like networking tool test. Oh no, it was Meta. Meta had some crazy odd like benchmark that they were shooting for that they could claim Muse won at because they didn't win at anything else.
Oh, right. So yeah, we're state of the art, and this one
We
specific
found this
area.
singular benchmark that changes everything. Rich in Paradise says, I'm sure Greg Brockman said Spud 5.6 was a new pre-train. Sorry, Spud was 5.5. Okay, so that would mean 5.5 was a new pre-train, and then 5.6.
And how about Doug?
Post-training.
These model names are so stupid.
I'm curious how you get to them. Like, what does that room look like? You're sitting there coming up with model names.
I think it's just something that sticks. Like, there's probably, from experience, right? There's probably like a couple names, and then something people just start using one.
Yeah,
internally.
Let's see, to keep churning here, we also have Quen put out 3.8. Goodness, we're just getting so much AI lately. Our most capable generation of Quen Open Family model to date. Built on the architectural foundation of 3.5. So it looks like another post-train. So you're seeing the open source labs seem to be playing the same game as the frontier labs, where they always try to release right near each other, right? Steal that news cycle if they can. Right. They always put out something. If Anthropic puts something out, OpenAI is going to say something. If OpenAI puts something out, Anthropic's going to say something. And it seems like the open source labs are doing the same game.
Yeah, the comms teams must be interesting at these places.
Yeah, you've tapped the bell for all of your competitors' accounts.
Right.
You see it every tweet. So their claims, like everybody and their cousin, were just claiming it's better at coding and agentic execution, whatever that means in the abstract. But that's everybody. It's all the labs saying the same thing. 2.4 trillion, 95 billion activated. Okay. I do appreciate the level of detail they give. It's so interesting because you get a much more technical breakdown. Okay, and then the great leaderboards. Here we go. Comparing themselves to Opus, Fable, and 5.7 Soul Max, though. So they're saying they don't quite beat Soul, so it's a very similar result that we just saw from GLM. Although a little even harder to read because they didn't bother to bold the values. But neck and neck, right? It just continues that theme of they are just right behind the frontier.
Just behind, yeah.
Which makes you think that super app conversation is going to get more intense, right? Because you're inevitably going to get cheaper token costs from the open source folks eventually, right? You can see the labs subsidized, so the labs might be able to give you a cheaper token cost given resets and given enterprise deals and all of this stuff. I'm very curious to see what the battlefield looks like at a startup level, where you might be heavily interested in doing open source because you're not going to get these big deals that the larger companies were.
Right.
Versus a Fortune 100 company, are you less? Do you thrash less because you've signed big contracts and gotten guarantees? Where's everybody's going to find their market? And I'm very curious where the open source market lands. I mean, enterprise might still use it for their own models, right?
Well, the thing is that open source, there's always like the use it yourself but like there's the open source to enterprise play is like a pretty well trodden path at this point.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a GitHub or like Red Hat Linux or like, I don't know, whatever. There are many such examples. LangChain is one that's relevant to me recently. So yeah, these exist, but it tends to be like some form of like integrators or, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays because like at the end of the day, if we're saying that intelligence, like models are going to commoditize, then these open source companies will have been successful in like defeating the mighty labs and commoditizing intelligence, right? Like, but then they have to answer, okay, like, yes, we did the impossible, but then also like, how do we make money, right? Because like just beating them wasn't. like collapsing the value of their only asset isn't like the way to make money, right? So it's like, yeah, as you were saying about like the application layer or the enterprise deals, or like how do you actually run the business, and like what's the edge you can get there, and it probably will look like, something like how cloud developed over time.
Which does, I mean, so to answer Spin Turbo's question, do you think Chinese models just months behind could kill the idea that OpenAI or Anthropic become Google or Facebook-like monopolies, causing an AI market crash even as tech giants as the tech gets better and cheaper? Ooh, it's a great question. I think it puts a lot of pressure. I think one thing you should never discount is that these technologies are not just pure tech; they're also political. So there's always the possibility that some new legislation bars the use of Chinese models. Hence the playing up the cyber capabilities, which are real too, right? It's this murky area where you're like, the cyber capabilities are real. Also a heavy incentive from the frontier labs to make it scary. I'm not saying they're being dishonest. I'm just saying it benefits them that these models are super capable because they can make the case for, oh, well, you can't just let people regulate. Yeah. You got to regulate. Not that that's ever stopped people on the internet from using them. So like individuals will still, of course, use those. But there's a meaningful chance if you're a large corporation, you are worried about using Chinese open source models because they might get banned. And if you build your infrastructure around it, it gets pulled out. Now, I don't know how vast that fear is. I don't know how contagious it is. But I do know that enterprises are super risk averse. And that is a risk, and a real risk that I think a lot of the tech Twitter downplays because they're like, oh, model release, it's all neck and neck. And you're like, yeah, it's really cool. But business decisions also get made with geopolitical risk in mind.
Right. And also it's about like yes, that. And then also it's like the holistic view of the product. Like, so it's like, it's not just risk, but it's also like what is the product or service you're getting. Right. And so it's like, this is the point I was trying to make before, where like, even if they have great models, you're not like selling the enterprise like necessarily just the model, right? You're selling them some whole package that amounts to like intelligence. And it's like, okay, how do you expose that? What controls do you give the enterprise? Like how well do you fit their requirements, right? Yeah. Like, and a lot of that is beyond the model itself, especially as like the floor of models creeps upwards, and we've got like cheaper and cheaper models that can handle a larger and larger percent of everyday information work tasks. And so, yeah.
And I don't mean to downplay the question, because I think it absolutely puts pressure on the labs. 100% it puts pressure on the labs. It's why you see them, to Jacob's point, talking about the super apps and trying to get you hooked into that Codex ecosystem or that Claude Code ecosystem. Why they want that? Because they want to be able to lean on memories and personalization and admin tools, like Jacob was mentioning, to keep you in an ecosystem. In case there's a world where one of these models comes out and it beats the frontier, right? We haven't seen that. We haven't seen a fear of that yet, but they're right there, right? They're right there. And that's the thing that has been the canonical, and I've said it on the podcast, so I'm guilty of this. The canonical take is that the open source models tend to not be able to beat the frontier labs because they're not good at that net new innovation. That's a stereotype, right? It might be wrong, right? It might end up that an open source model beats it, and then you're real worried because now you have to depend on the harness. You have to depend on the super app to do it and keep people in that world. So expect more announcements along that line too. Like emphasizing the features of the harness, getting better at things like memory, dreams, I think Anthropic calls it. That whole world becomes very important to buffer against really tight competition, because these numbers start to get very close. And we will say, we've said on the channel before, benchmarks don't tell the whole story, right? Like, benchmarks are very hackable. There's a heavy incentive to hack them and try to get the highest score you can. Right. It shows really well. We have some awesome technical folks in the comments too who've deployed stuff at companies. They can quote the sizes to you, but it's not always apples to apples. Just because the benchmark's better, you're going to switch over. It really depends on how it adapts to what your organization is and how it handles the huge contexts and how it manages the information and the memories. And then you get into the boring stuff. You get into information security, self-hosting, admin
control, uptime, SLA, like SLA and these are the things that actually like sell
Yes.
products to enterprises. And so it's like, yeah, in the same way that like once like first hardware kind of commoditized, then software kind of commoditized, then it was all about these
And
things about like
let's not forget these labs, these open source labs have historically been really bad at serving these models, right? We've failed repeatedly on this channel to get the models to run because they can't handle demand, right? Which is no shade. It's just like they're operating in their conditions. They can get the chips they can. But to John Doe's point in the chat, like, do you have the chips on the servers to run the model at scale for as many customers as you can get? And for these labs, the answer seems to be no. For now, right? Could change.
well, no, I just don't think it. I mean, okay, we'll see. Someone's gonna have to like, yeah, it just depends on like who are you investing in for what,
Right.
right? And so it's like, yeah, it's already difficult for the like when we discuss on the channel the prospects of like OpenAI or Anthropic taking a significant amount of like the cloud market from the three major hyperscalers. That's already like this. Is that even possible? Even though these companies are raising at unheard of valuations, like
and have the best models,
and have the best models. Even with that, it's just like not clear like what happens with this Stargate thing. And now Anthropic is on this train of having to buy up all this compute and like these companies, they can't. It's like they're kind of at the. They both are talking about going public because like they're kind of at the. What are you going to raise at? Right? What are you going to raise it? Like
How do you
2
get
trillion?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You're half of Microsoft.
So
yeah.
Right. But and then that just like doesn't. I mean, and Microsoft owns a third of OpenAI, so it's like it's all gotta. At some point, you got to price this all, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. So I don't know. So this is why it's like hard for me to say if we were saying that like having the best model will actually not be necessarily be connected with like extracting the most value off of like serving models, then there's a certain angle of the
and we've made that claim, to be clear. We've made the claim on the channel,
and I believe in
it. Yeah.
And so it's like, and so that's why it's more like it's not that interesting of a conversation to me, like how far the open source models are away from the frontier. Like, or I should say, it's an increasingly less interesting conversation when the frontier is increasingly not required for tasks. And when we're talking at like these like large scale business levels, it's like, okay, for the platform or product monetization, there are all these other factors that go in. So it's like sort of a different conversation. And the open source labs seem even less prepared than the closed source labs to beat incumbents at those things. Not saying that none of them ever could, just saying I don't know why I would bet on any of them. There's a certain reason to bet on the labs, but I would probably bet on the incumbents in most of these cases.
Right, because if you assume intelligence get commoditized, there was what's his name, the old Andreessen Horowitz analyst, who was saying if this followed old technology trends, what you would see is commoditization of intelligence. His quote was Benedict Evans. He said something like, you have Sam Altman out there saying, oh, we're going to be like electricity, right? We're intelligence, and we're going to have intelligence too cheap to meter. And he goes, well, I'm not sure if you want the margins of an electricity company, right? Like, these aren't Fortune 10 businesses, right? Instead, the electricity fueled a bunch of Fortune 100 businesses in the form of the Microsoft, Google's, Apple's that sat on top of them and had all this value. So the value accrues, in his argument, to the app layer.
Well, but to be fair on that, when the initial revolution happened, like we have to like set these time frames, right? Like, so when the initial electricity revolution happened, like that era was like, yes, this was also like the telecommunications era. So you had like Edison, GE, Bell Telephone, Westinghouse as the biggest companies. So yes, you eventually, and there's an argument that the tech companies, they ascended further than the electricity era companies.
Oh, they did.
On top of electricity, but they did so on the commoditization of compute, which so the natural life cycle would actually be that somebody comes along, right? That argument kind of follows that.
But you're already seeing this sort of happen, right? TSMC is worth less than Nvidia. Surprisingly, right? Even though they're making all the chips and they're ultimately the linchpin. If TSMC went out of business tomorrow, this whole AI thing is done for at least 6 months to a year,
Yeah,
right?
I wonder if they're not like exercising their pricing power, like because they have the pricing power, or at least they did. I mean, they still do, but like hard to say how long it lasts, right? Like, and how much it is.
Well, and that brings us to Grok, where it's like, why is Elon a legitimate threat? Because the sucker can move atoms, right? So like he's going to try to build Terafab. He's got some of the largest compute clusters on Earth. He's building more of them. And you've seen SpaceX, all of a sudden their balance sheet looks so different because they're making so much money from selling picks in a gold rush. So right now it seems like a lot of the value accrues to model providers, sure, but also accrues to, can you put cards in boxes and cool them?
Right.
And I put up 4.6 because that came out and kind of hit the same notes that we've just seen in the last couple models of being just behind the frontier. They're of course going to find some where they're better,
Which
but
is,
Elon made the
which is
claim that he's
interesting.
3 weeks away from beating the frontier.
You gotta give it. You have to give it to Elon on this one. Whatever happened behind the scene, like in the last couple months, XAI has gone from like laughable models to closer to the frontier than Google, while also selling off a bunch of their compute.
Yeah, let's dwell on that point for a second. Closer to the frontier than Google is correct.
While selling their compute.
Yes, yes.
So like more successful than Google, both monetarily and technically. I mean, you got to give it to them.
And so the bold claim was better than Frontier within 3 weeks, though he expects the labs to release new models. But wild if true. So 4.7 is supposed to be.
It's looking like this Cursor acquisition was a good move, and
it sure is, yeah.
Whatever the talent they had at Cursor, I guess Cursor was able to snap up a bunch of like hardcore model talent because.
Well, not just that, but they got all that data, man. How it was used, how like all the things that were asked of it.
The data is great, but it's also like, right? It's not like because basically everybody has a coding product, right?
Yeah,
and not all data is usable for training.
That's right. Yep.
Right. So that's one big benefit to like, yeah, I agree, and like it's a big benefit that OpenAI has enjoyed, which is like, they exploded in consumer usage, so then they had all this usage that they didn't have to like respect enterprise data.
This is the tweet that made the rounds. 4.7 will exceed all current models. Though I give a shout out to Anthropic. So the other sleeper here, like non-investor, don't play one on the internet, but odds are whatever models SpaceX makes I could buy the claim that it's going to be the best at real world engineering. They certainly have some of the best data sets on Earth for that, right?
So they also have a great opportunity to make like a crazy CAD model.
Yeah.
Like that's underrated. I hadn't really thought about that, but like in terms of they have a great data set for code that is competitive with a bunch of other great data sets for code amongst the other people training models, right? OpenAI's got Codex, Claude's got Claude Code, Microsoft's got GitHub, right? But on the CAD side of things, the only people with more CAD data are like Dassault.
Yeah.
Than the combined SpaceX Tesla.
I agree with that. I hadn't thought about CAD. I certainly was going to just the Tesla training set would give you an incredible ability to understand the real world.
The world. Yeah, so it's like CAD, like all their CAD and their sims plus the actual card. Like it all lumps together to be the best real world data set by far.
And not to mention SpaceX. I mean, all of their launches, all of the things they gathered, all of the
data, all the telemetry, but also the sims that they built. Like they've pre-built all the RL environments, like for testing rockets, testing rocket designs right before building, testing in sim.
And okay, I'm now logged into Twitter, so we can actually get a better view. There we go. I think they're a sleeper. The results from 4.6 are wild. I'm tempted to give it a shot here on the channel because we haven't run Grok in a long time. But I'll pull up OpenRouter. We can give a few models a run here. But insane that that's happening. And I could certainly see them having an edge here, right? You're seeing companies. I'll give you a prediction on the channel. I'll be amazed if Figure Robotics doesn't get acquired.
Doesn't OpenAI already own a bunch of them?
Figure Robotics? Maybe.
Or is that somebody else? No, actually, no. I think they had a partnership to provide like
they backed
the
out.
Brain.
Right?
Yeah. That's what happened.
I would guess Figure gets acquired.
I have this. I mean, maybe. I'm not sure if I. Well, but maybe they'll say we don't want to get acquired.
Maybe.
I also think there's this big question about like, this is Brett Attic, right?
Yeah. How real is it?
Yeah. Brett Attic to me smells a little bit like.
Have you seen what Google acquired?
No. I'm not saying he couldn't get acquired. This is more of a separate point, separate than the acquisition thing. The acquisition, yes, they're very acquirable. They also might not. They have a perfect storm of like might not wanting to like they might see a future for like a bigger future for themselves on their own. I don't know.
I think you're one optimist launch away from them seeking acquisition like Cursor. Like, I think you go, oh shit, we need to be hooked to a bigger horse.
Yeah, but like, okay, you put like Figure against like Boston Dynamics, who wins?
I don't know, man. I don't know because Boston Dynamics been around for a long time. There's probably a lot of bloat. That's if Figure's
There's
real,
a lot of bloat,
right? If Figure's real.
And they went full lab. They did. Boston Dynamics to me is like the Anthropic of robots. Like
snip it. Let's go.
We need to
do you know what
I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know if like I don't know how successfully they will adapt to like from lab to like real company.
Yes, that's
and Anthropic and OpenAI have both had their challenges doing this.
There's also what's the other competitor that was going to have like random people pilot the robot in your home?
Oh,
who was that?
Oh, there've been a couple of those. There was like one who were going to be remote. Yeah, there's like the cleaning service.
Yeah.
Then also China's going to pop off on the robots, like they already are.
100%.
They will continue. I don't know. I think.
I'm having trouble believing that. Like, it seems hard for OpenAI and Anthropic to be the winners in the robotic space without the data sets they need for that. SpaceX has the data set for this, right? And they're certainly going to get more of the data set as they ship Optimus out. And people forget, right? AWS, Amazon was their best first customer, right? They're all the same company, but they had a first best customer built in. SpaceX and Tesla have that relationship where they're not the same company, but they got the same guy at the top, and Tesla's got a lot of factories building a lot of things.
And how long will they not be the same company for?
Another good bet. What's the poly market odds? Let's find out.
There probably are.
I don't think it's a secret that Elon wants to unify his.
No, he's made it quite clear.
Like, absolutely. And arguably, why not?
The poly market odds are 50-50 by the end of 2027.
Seems about right.
I think I would take
2027 seems quick though. End of the decade.
No, I think things are going to move faster on this.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I mean, I don't understand. I will never pretend to understand and I say this intentionally, like the finance world around this, like
I don't actually breaking news that Dewey has access to Sol Ultrafast.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, not part. Sorry, not part. I saw not Dewey. I got excited. I said you were part of the chosen few conglomerates. I was like, what? We're gonna put you on stream right now. Let's go. Also, Real offered any of our regular attendees, like reach out to the Future Crew if you want to chat live sometime. You guys have been with us forever. We'll get you on here and talk. If you're new, come back a few weeks. We got to vet you. Sir Vix Pounder says he's on. So this is Attic, I think, on the M4M podcast today, and the figure guy didn't sound like he was going to sell. That's how they all sound.
The biggest, back to the Tesla SpaceX. The biggest interesting question around that is like, how do you handle? Okay, because Tesla has significant operations in China. SpaceX is like ITAR restricted.
Yeah.
So how do you? Well, I don't even know what the full rules are there. But that's going to be friction for sure.
All depends on the geopolitical situation. We are not a political podcast necessarily, but
well, it depends on that. It also depends on the rules that I don't understand about, like how far does ITAR reach through the company?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, we are at the 3:30 mark. Let's see what other news I had. There's Muse Glimmer. I can't be bothered. I don't care. I really, I just don't, man. Like I could show you the card. Here's the card. All right, let's all pretend together that Meta's still in this fight. And to this day, I have not gotten another Meta recruiter request, and I just can't wait for it. The response of like, "Have you seen me talk publicly? This is no, don't." Like, so we're comparing ourselves to, out of date models. It's good. But look, hey, you're still in it, still trying things. God bless. Good for them. I don't really know what to say. I got nothing for them, man. I think open source is eating their lunch. I think they don't have a data set worth a damn to do anything with. I think they don't have the talent. I don't think they have the compute. So I got nothing. And I think Zuck has screwed up that engineering culture so bad. Everybody I talk to that works at Meta is looking for a door. It's just out. Like,
right. But they got those like Meta golden handcuffs.
Yeah, they paid huge money. They were the highest payers for designers for a long time. If you were at Meta, you were making way more money than everybody else. That was the peak. Like the post Instagram acquisition Meta was the peak hipster designer making like $250,000 a year, hanging out in your beanie in Dolores Park. Like met a lot of those people.
Big design culture over at Meta.
Oh, they despite ruining design, right? Like Meta is the downfall of design because they figured out they could just A/B test their way through everything, which I think is broadly correct for a wide-ranging product, but it does mean that like the illusion of being an artiste goes away.
Sorry, artiste.
I have never claimed to be one. My worst jobs is where I had to work for someone who had an agency background. And I was like, we are not making marketing websites here. This is not. No. This is product design.
No one in particular.
No.
It's generally agency background.
Generally. Graphic design agency background. Happened a couple times. But okay, cool. We covered Meta. They exist. Other than that, we had some we had some raises. Lovable raised $400 million at a $13 billion valuation. The weird one for that for me is what is Squarespace valued at? Like, does this just take the Squarespace market? Like, that's what I'm having trouble with. Is I don't know anyone using Lovable. We used it for a little while in the design team and just sort of fell away from it. Like,
right.
It just no one uses it that I know. But I'm deep in the tech space, so I assume there's a lot of folks. What I just can't imagine is why the Squarespace audience would use Lovable when conceivably Squarespace could just integrate AI. But I'm out of the loop here, so I clearly don't know what I'm talking about.
I haven't used those in a while, but I would imagine that those like no-code site creators aren't that sticky.
Sure, I just think the UX is better. Like they already have all the controls and the draggables and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
like
yeah.
edit it and the
Yeah.
and I don't think Lovable has some secret sauce for website gen. But maybe they do. Hey,
No, I
maybe
mean
they do.
they must have some amount of, hey, we're in the value of we've come full circle with the whole like there's no value in a wrapper to it's all about the harness, you know.
That's right.
Like,
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
and then
Fair.
eventually we'll go to then harnesses will be like standardized and then it'll be like, you know,
Yeah.
okay, there's no value to the harness. Like it's
Well,
just
then it'll be, enterprise lock-in, same as it always was.
right, right. I mean, yeah, so it'll just be, but we're currently in like there is value to the harness and
Yep.
um Lovable's been around for a while. So I would just having seen how like incumbents try to do AI.
I'll stop commenting at this point.
Right. No, I just in general incumbents. Happened a couple times.
Your Honor, I have no comment at this time.
We're pleading all the fifths.
All the fifths. Another one that raised Code Rabbit's valued at 1.5, so that's a tenth of a Lovable for those playing at home. Apparently making the case that the harness is less valuable.
No. Well, you could look at this as value in the harness.
This is a skill. This is a skill, which might be a good skill. Hey, look, get your money.
Hey,
but
by the way, Chris, harness has no definition. So
hey,
a system prompt can be a harness. Harness is just a rebranding of wrapper.
Better hope the ITAR regulations that'll land on AI don't take that point of view.
And this doesn't mean that I don't think that like it is difficult to figure out like what is the best interface for the LLM to, but I don't know. It's just it takes us like monkey humans like a long time to to like make that stuff better, and then the models get smarter and smarter.
Yeah,
and it's just like humans have showed us that software switches over like long before software is like perfectly efficient on like the user to software interface level.
Yeah.
The values start flipping to where other things have more value. So if that holds into harnesses, like you don't need the perfect harness to sort of standardize commoditize harnesses. You just need something that's like good enough that the value starts flipping towards like efficiency of like the underlying compute or something like that. Doesn't mean there won't be improvements in the future, but it just means it's not like a moat, really.
That's fair. I was seeing the comments. Deweese says so. GLM 5.3. I'm down to send a prompt at it. Let's see what happens.
Let's give it a. Should we give everything the same?
How many are we doing?
I don't know. We could do GLM.
Well, let's see what we got. What's actually? I assume we have GLM. We might not though. No.
No GLM.
We can go through their site, I think. I'm gonna have to download it. I've promised the chat I would do this properly. Claim bonus. I gotta download this sketchy ass app. All right, man. Fine. The things I do. I think I have an account, right?
Dewey's warning us that people are saying that it takes a very, very long time to complete much of anything at all, is what people are saying about GLM 5.3.
well, maybe we can kick
but
off.
This is a great example. This is a spectacular example of what I was trying to get across before, where it's like, okay, let's say GLM is awesome, but like, so and it benchmarks like right at the frontier, but like their managed service product, like however they are directly selling you the tokens, is just on optimization and tokens per second and availability and all this stuff, just like a 6 months, a year behind the labs. That matters more than being like 2 months behind the labs on the frontier capability. Like in terms of actual adoption, actual companies signing enterprise deals, actual end users using your thing. You know.
Yep. What test we want to send? I got Quen at least. Should we full send it on Planet? Planet V2. I don't really want to do the single HTML anymore. I hope this can handle more than that. We'll see.
Does it have wait? I mean, the problem. I mean, to the conversation on the harness though, the problem will be the harness, right? If it doesn't use single HTML, then you'll need to copy every file over. Chat suggestions? Open code?
I know I'm trying to avoid downloading 3 different code editors right now, but it might happen. Codex is open source though, right? Can't I?
Yeah.
That's what I'm told.
I mean, yeah, yeah. 75 plus LLM providers through models.dev.
That sounds legit.
That's what OpenCode has.
It's true. 3.7 Flash, 50% off. Oh no, we are gonna send something to Flash. I wanna watch this disaster.
No, I mean, hey, if it's Terra level, it's not gonna be a disaster. Terra is quite good.
That's what you think.
It just ain't Frontier. I said if
3.7 Flash. Okay, chat. What do we think? Do we want Dungeon Crawler? Do we want Planet? Do we want?
I mean, listen. If we're running one of these big ones, give it something hard. Give it like City on Planet or something like that.
This one's not big though. It's Terra.
Terra's a good model.
City on Planet.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Do a city sim on a planet?
Oh, well, in the past, what I've done is like given it this in 2 parallel threads, given it city and planet, and then given it the results and be like, put this city on this planet.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. All right.
Should I try to get this running for like Flash?
Do you have something that can run 5.3 or 3.8?
You're just saying fucking numbers at this point.
Quen 3.8, GLM 5.3. All right, we're gonna send it on Flash. So because I have a Gemini account.
Oh wait, you're on Gemini now.
Yeah.
But we're not. Okay. So we are doing single HTML.
I'm not. Just delete that requirement.
Oh, you can just use the V2 prompt. But again, if it's in a chat client, then it's not going to be able to actually make a project, right? I don't know what like the Gemini capabilities are, but
I don't know either. It just came back with like a instruction set for how to do it.
Yeah. That's
nice. Okay, great. Love you, Google.
Wait, does anti-gravity seriously not let you like?
I can download anti-gravity.
I have it.
Okay. Why?
Workspace.
Okay.
Oh, why did I download it for the channel at some point?
Oh, okay. City on Planet, Cervix Pounder.
Wait, what?
Cervix Pounder said City on Planet.
What a fucking name. I guess we're... Did you realize what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just
going with it.
Just wanted to make sure we knew we were getting demonetized.
You think we're monetized?
Well, I guess Tatsu's not here, so no. What
is this dumb model? All right.
Cervix Pounder. Oh my god.
really did it for you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that Google's made this UI harder.
Such
to
a
use.
like a. Sorry. Continue. The great unbundling of VS Code. Since the beginning, remember I said this building an IDE thing is silly. We have an IDE.
Actually, that's a good point. Can VS Code? What kind of models we have access to in VS Code?
The new anti-gravity. This is like new teams. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Teams new. Outlook new.
Wait, what is this? Oh, good God. You seen this shit?
No, I'm trying to get signed in. Is anybody
I
still
went to the
watching?
old GitHub button, right? It says open in agents. Remember how Cursor broke their IDE? Now it opens in agents. And agents looks like this. So here we are. Boy, oh boy. What models do I have available if I do GitHub? All right, how's anti-gravity treating you?
I'm pretty much there.
Okay. I got my 3.7 result for single HTML, which isn't super valuable, but
Oh god.
well, here's your single HTML. I think it's a middle finger. It's a pointing finger, maybe. There you go. There's 3.7 flash.
Wait. What happened?
Oh God. Are you seeing this?
Sorry, no. I was focused on anti-gravity. Oh, this is the single HTML flash? Oh. Well, that's too bad.
Regenerate terrain.
Well, you know, I like to
I
think
thought
we're
you
gonna
said this
get-
was Terra level. I was promised Terra.
That is what I mean. I don't know about me. That's what Google said.
Nailed it. Clip anything Chris says negative about Teams. I don't think I said much negative about Teams.
No, I did it. No, John Doe, I don't work there anymore. It's okay. I can say what I need. John Doe also said having anti-gravity in 2026 is wild.
This is what we do for you people. This is the sacrifices we make.
Also, John Doe had said before, to be fair, Google sells a little bit of compute, which is when I was talking about SpaceX selling their compute. Yes, this is true, but Google's already a hyperscaler, and SpaceX is quickly becoming a hyperscaler, which is impressive. Like the breaking like the atoms moat that you're not supposed to be able to break is sort of Elon's thing, it seems.
Yeah, it isn't. I mean, look, I'm not the semi-analysis guys, so I don't have my finger on the pulse here, but aren't TPUs kind of extremely constrained? Not in terms of using them, but just there's not a lot of them. They're not getting to the front of the line at TSMC. So cute.
I mean, listen, they have more of a vertical integration potential than
Yeah, no, I
others.
get it for Google. I'm just like, you're not going to pivot your stack if you're not Google to be fully TPU. So you're going to add that as a piece. But
No, but they're trying to get you to pivot your. I don't think they're trying to get like labs or whoever to pivot their stack, which is I guess part of the problem. But it would be like because they're vertically integrated. they can't even serve their own internal TPU demand. Then they're just like, fine, okay, you're pivoting to Gemini, which then is served on TPUs, just like a one-line change. So ideally,
All right, I'm gonna try Grok. If it'll let me, it might not let me.
I can also do this. It's called Grok Build. Grok.com/build.
How many IDs do you have?
At this point, fucking all of them, dude.
So many. Okay, I got Build.
I mean, I
No,
should probably be
don't.
using the tokens if they're giving
You
me
have to upgrade to super heavy Grok,
Wait, you what?
and they want $300 a month.
For Grok 4.6?
Just letting you know what I'm seeing on screen. Oh god.
Chat, it can't be worth it, right?
Not
Oh
at
my
our
God.
current revenue rate. I can still do 4.6. No, I can't. 4.6 has to be Build. Wow.
Oh God. Anti-gravity doesn't seem to have like a...
You can share your screen. I'm just showing Grok. Grok 4.6 for the low price of $3,600 a year. Yeah, exactly. I thought they'd at least let me run a prompt up here. I'm not asking for much. That's way more expensive than the...
Also, who's like maining Grok? I'm sorry.
Now that they dropped Annie, I don't know. I had a theory on who was mainlining Grok before, but...
Wait, they dropped Annie?
Isn't Annie gone?
What are
crazy?
What are the incels gonna do? There doesn't seem to be any sort of auto approve that I can see.
Oh, this is gonna be a mess.
I mean, it is a Codex clone, but like...
Wait, there's no model selector? No, there it is. What are you looking for?
No. There's a model selector, but I'm looking for like... Yeah, I'm looking for like... Okay, it kept coming up with like approval requests.
Oh, no.
Also, it seems to be stuck on... It's just like npm run dev, and it's just sitting here. Oh, it decided it was... Oh. Oh, no. All right. It seems that we have a response.
By the way, very vital news. Yes, AXAI removed 3i animated companions from the Grok app as of... They made an official statement on July 24th.
They say
this
why?
year. 3D avatar companion feature, Annie, Valentine, etc., was an experiment. We're retiring it soon to focus fully on core Grok, stronger memory, deeper reliable chats, and better long-term experience. Your main chat history stays. The visual avatars and dedicated companion mode won't. You can still roleplay the same personalities and vibes with me right here. So, yeah, you do not get your 3D jiggle physics anymore. So,
Google is basically Microsoft at this point. Remember, Google was supposed to be like agile and like hacker culture and like...
Microsoft was too, man. We had a...
Yeah, but Google more recently than Microsoft.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I reopened Anti-Gravity for the first time in months, it said download the new Anti-Gravity, right? Anti-Gravity new, which was already like Teams new. And then when I downloaded that, the button, see how the button up here says Open IDE and it's got an Anti-Gravity icon?
Yep.
So there's still Anti-Gravity IDE. So because it took them so long to pull a cursor and fork VS Code, they were a year late on forking VS Code. So then 2 months later, the state of the art changes to sort of the everything app, like link off to the IDE when you need in-depth edits. So then they pivoted the Anti-Gravity brand to be the Codex Everything app, but then kept their VS Code fork that existed in earnest for all of a couple of months. And instead of routing you into VS Code, they route you into Anti-Gravity to edit files. So you go from Anti-Gravity to Anti-Gravity. So you're in Anti-Gravity. It says, would you like to open this in Anti-Gravity?
This was... No, I can't make that joke. I like getting paid.
And on top of that, it's just VS Code. You would think, like, the reason I say they're Microsoft is because they could have been like, all right, this bet failed. Like, we were too late. Like, okay, we're just going to, like, open in VS Code. Like, our shitty fork clearly doesn't have business value, and now we have to maintain a whole IDE. But no, that team had a VP and scope and budget, and so they were like in some political backroom thing where like, okay, yes, younger, sexier guy, you can do the Anti-Gravity Everything app, but you have to kick out to Anti-Gravity IDE so I can stay funded. It's like, oh my god,
I'm certain I have no idea what you're saying.
I can't wait for this industry to implode and just-in-time software. And our industry, it's like either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. Like, we've become the villain. It's got to go. We're like, we might as well be an insurance company at this point.
We had some great comments in chat. Oh, so we're all pivoting to Corgi?
Okay, wait. So were you saying during that rant there was some chat activity?
No, we hadn't caught up in a second. So there was Dewey saying nailed it for 3.7 Flash is awful planet. Sir Vix says that it's funny like Grok. As well as the limits get hit pretty fast, at least on Grokbot. Dewey's saying there's a ton of weirdos on X that constantly want to praise Grok to get Elon's attention. Yeah, that's true. I think they're all using 4.5, though. I think they're broke. This is my take.
Okay, are you ready to see the Grok V2 result? Not Grok, Gemini.
I was like, you paid for Grok? My goodness.
Certainly not.
Rich in Paradise says they want to be taken seriously. Also, yes, I think they do. I think that's the pitch, is you can't have Annie and then go pitch that we're the greatest engineering AI on the planet.
Yeah, but that's why I don't know why they did Annie in the first place.
Did you see Elon's likes before he made those private? I can tell you why they did it.
Well, okay. Okay, I think this is actually an interesting result because some of it is not so bad, and then some of it is tragic. Like there's like these issues.
You don't think this is that? All right, man.
No. I mean, it's obviously like more detailed and the underlying like the code that it wrote.
Can you
like,
full send this on Terra in the background so we can see this benchmark hacking in real time?
Okay. Same exact prompt.
Yeah. No advantage given to OpenAI.
It might, but okay. The thing I was gonna say is it's obviously bad, but it only worked for a minute. So it did this in a minute, which like that's the part that's not so bad.
I mean, if we were using Ultrafast API, it would work for a minute and be Sol 5.6 fast.
Well, right. But this is priced at Terra levels, Terra normal levels.
Rich says he wouldn't make the Cybertruck if you want to be taken seriously as an auto manufacturer, but here we are. I don't know, guys. Genius at marketing them. But my wife has said she will divorce me if I buy a Cybertruck, so we will not be getting a Cybertruck. Tundra City over here. Though it has been funny watching a lot of the automotive manufacturers copy the because none of them had the same touchscreen size as Tesla when it first came out. Now they all do. Like you get in a new car, it's just a giant.
Oh, they've copied everything from Tesla. Yeah. Tesla in its in the original Model S and Model X days must have been the coolest place to be. They were revolutionizing an industry and had all the money to do it, had earned the license to do it, and then everybody followed. It was kind of incredible. Oh,
they have one of the best selling cars in the world, right? It's wild. It's a wild account. This was an impossible feat, right? Building a new automotive manufacturer was seen as impossible. Just like the terafabs being seen right now. So I'm not betting against it, man. The guy's got some voodoo when it comes to atoms, and maybe bits. We'll see.
All right, for this comparison, what should I be asking Terra for? Like, sorry, effort level. Like, there's extra high, and I mean, I'm not using ultra, but high was the highest for Gemini.
Let's go high. High's fine. Same prompt. Sorry, I interrupted you. I do want to hear why you think this result is sane beyond speed.
No, it's only speed.
Okay.
Well, it's speed and just like compared to your result.
Let's give it a chance to redeem itself. Do all the sliders work? Let's go back to old school.
Wait, let me just make sure I can get the codex one sent off.
Okay.
But then yes, let's skip it. Okay.
And I'm going to send off, just for the sake of fun here, we'll get Quen going on the same thing.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Open Router. Every time we change this website, it gets worse. It's unbelievable.
Okay, I'm also going to give Terra a chance.
How do you screw this up so much, Open Router? It's unbelievable.
You still fighting with Open Router?
I'm just actually amazed. I really am. Okay. Try this model, and instead of sending you to...
Der Straber says paid for Grok because they offered 3 months at 60% off. Der Straber, how is it shaken out?
It was for Annie. Don't lie to us.
No. You didn't need to pay that much for Annie.
Well,
no,
if you
Annie,
wanted her to truly love you, you did.
Annie wasn't gated behind the... So I guess, yeah, when you're a public company, you can't have like a AI porn bot.
I mean, usually not. To be fair.
I'm surprised we're not there yet.
I've actually also been surprised that this was not a bigger story. Like, you see all the like shady claims, but you would have expected like a public-facing OnlyFans Pornhub level thing to pop off, but not there yet. Although we'll see, a new video model just came out that people are running locally. I want to give I don't think I quite have the cards for it, but
new video model?
Yeah. Let's see. LTX 2.5 came out. Oh, there was Minimax, yeah. So that could change some things. How's Codex doing?
Codex is off. Now I'm trying to give Gemini a chance to redeem itself.
All right, we're sending it off. We're letting...
Okay, so I just had... Let's see, where's this? Too many windows open. Okay, so I sent it.
Also, I'm just playing Der Straber. I'm legitimately curious. So, what is that?
This is just, I asked GPT image for like a low poly planet, and then I sent this to Gemini, and I was like, iterate until it looks like this. So let's see.
Hey, if they can pull that off, then great. I mean, we could try it in the way they want you to use it, which is go tell Sol 5.6 high to write an implementation plan.
That's the way we've prescribed them wanting us to do this.
What else are they going to say? Go to pro?
Yeah, that's
Would you like a
say.
result that's 6 months old?
No, they'd say, well, actually, on a networking bench, it's not so bad. So use the meta, a good old meta strat.
On obscure language-to-language translation. I mean, the DeepMind story is, I don't think we talked about it, utterly insane. Like, you guys probably covered it last week.
Yeah.
The wildest. I mean, to have invented the technology and then be an also-ran at this point, despite having all the resources in the world, is wild. To be so bad at managing it, you lose a bunch of your top researchers, is wild. Like, crazy. I just don't have a lot of Google friends, so I don't have any like cool insider take. I don't know how Demi's is. I don't know, other than his public persona, which seems to be more like I'm interested in esoteric research and don't like making Gemini into a product. But who knows if that's true?
Yeah. It's sort of Anthropic coded.
Yeah, it does sound familiar.
Okay, so what do we have working? Right now it's Terra's working.
Yeah. I have Quen 3.824 trillion 95 billion active parameter. Puts us all in the title on Open Router.
Quen,
now the question is the model actually working when you use Open Router?
Couldn't figure out GLM.
I have to download Z code and then I have to pay them.
There's no free tier for Z code.
We'll find out.
Oh, 47 seconds, 41 seconds, low poly planet visual overhaul complete. Gemini, you dirty dog.
John Doe, CEO's got to go. The whole company is cooked. Honestly, the board got to be cooked for this to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the greatest failings in all of AI. But that's what you get when you hire a McKinsey guy. There goes my Google offers. What do you expect when you put a McKinsey person in charge of your company? Like, you think you're going to win the new revolution?
So I told Gemini to iterate until it looked like that image. It worked for 41 seconds, claimed to have completed the visual overhaul, and then responded with an error.
Yes. I think my official recommendation is deploy this in your high-impact enterprise environments. Dare Streamer, well, it's been 2 months. Net positive. I probably won't renew after that, only because normally I don't have much use beyond the free tier, although Grok build fits my workflow better than the website. That's good to know. I want to try it. If they gave me like a $20 option, or for you guys, even a $50 option, but $300, eesh, it's a little rich. All right, should I get Z code? Let's see how that works.
Anti-gravity does not support higher rate limits on this Google plan. Consider a paid Google AI plans via a personal account or logging in with a Google Cloud project from a business account. They're literally Microsoft now. They're Microsoft.
I couldn't possibly comment.
Oh, let's solve the fact that we have 3 different account types with a string. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Deeply confused by the concept.
I'll just say that people have these same complaints in every industry.
Couldn't possibly know what you're saying. All right, should I download the Z Cloud thing? Probably. I've been promising our loyal audience. When my computer gets backdoored, This is all on you.
Oh.
Simple, fast, vibe ready. Z Code combines the best AI agents with your existing tools, so you can plan, code, review, and deploy. Is everybody just saying the same thing now? Like, I feel like I've looked at 3 IDE pitches right now. There's Grok Build, there's this, whatever the hell Alibaba has. It's all the same. Like, say stuff. It'll do things. Probably. Maybe. Actually, Chad, has anybody tried Hermes? That's the new hotness. I haven't tried Hermes at all. You ever tried Hermes, Jacob? Hermes agent?
Hermes. No.
Noose or Noose research?
Noose research, yeah.
Craziest design language you're ever going to see on a site. I'll tell you that right now. Ready for blue? Bang. It's blue. Real blue. Oh,
Okay, we have a response from Terra. It only worked for 4 minutes, 30 seconds. These smaller models get lazy. They like struggle with. I mean, oh boy, but it's okay.
What is big model?
Where is big model?
No, it says when I tried Z Code or whatever, it says connect to Z.ai or connect to big model. I was like, what is big model? All right, I've accepted terms of service. My computer has been hacked. Okay, let's see. Manage models.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we tried.
You tried. Ooh, I got 5.3. All right. I'm going to do right by you all. Let's do it.
Okay, and while you're getting that running, I can show what we have from both Terra and like the 4th iteration for Gemini. Okay, so first we will take a look at Terra. Chris, you seeing this?
I mean, it did pull in some of the reference. We'll take that.
It didn't have the reference yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
it has it now, so it might have done a little bit of the faceting here since
this was Terra.
But this was Terra.
Yeah, so this is insanely better.
Oh, so much better.
Benchmarks mean nothing.
This is supposed to be Earth-like, by the way.
Chat, is it going to break your heart if I do high instead of max?
Ooh, added some trees on Terra. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Terra's working on. I gave it the same reference, but this is what we got from. This is like Gemini 4th iteration, and on the last one, I really tried to like, no, you have to like keep iterating, take screenshots, identify areas for improvement, and continue working, and it wouldn't work for more than a minute. So this like long horizon. I've been saying this for like over a year, but like Gemini can't figure out how to get these. Or yeah, DeepMind can't figure out how to get these models to run for a long time, at least in the actual products that they release. I do really like the faceted lighting thing it's got going on, though. I'll give it that.
What is with the Superman chest ass colors on this planet?
The shadows aren't bad. I mean,
all right, we are off to the races with 5.3 in its harness. Should be doing all the things. Am I a little unnerved that the file indicator here is fully in Chinese and they didn't localize this, yeah, we're rolling anyway. There's Straber. I used Grok build to extract texture and sound effect data out of an old Win 3.1 game and tried to clone it. The game was mad, but the asset extraction was something to work with. Hey, that's sweet. That's a fun test to run on the channel. Is I've seen the model, especially the frontier ones, being really good at taking an old binary for a game and recreating it, which is awesome. It's great news for games because games were losing their history. Like John Romero and a few others had done a lot to create a museum of games, and Abandonware and some of these sites have tried to host a bunch of them, but we were starting to lose the emulation ability to run them. So maybe AI saves us there.
What I will give Gemini is it goes fast. It goes fast.
Yeah, so does a text editor if you just paste stuff.
Right, but I'm not writing it.
It's true.
No, like we spent, we're all talking about this, like, I don't know, GPT fast, whatever. It's fast.
That is true. I was curious.
That's the TPU benefit, it seems to be.
Yeah. It's just a smaller model too, but not the. I guess not the Terra.
Whoa.
Something
it just had sounds. You hear that?
No, I don't hear it. I don't know if you shared audio.
Have you been looking at chat?
Yeah, no, we're caught up.
Okay.
I was reading out there. Straber was using Grok build to extract texture and sound effects. That brought me on the whole game rant. I mean, it's writing something.
Okay. I mean, this is kind of hilarious.
You look like you're on the Pixar ball.
I'm not parented to the ball, so it just keeps moving below me. Oh, also, yeah, of course, the cloud's on the surface, but hey, I mean, this result would have been really impressive like a year ago.
Google was really impressive a year ago.
Yeah, and like single HTML, but not in agent. That was the problem then. Still is the problem now. Really went for these like bold colors. It's like Mondrian planet. Oh, and it's all screwed up at the poll. Okay. It just refuses to work for more than like a minute. Which I have a hard time judging because it's like
John Doe says it's something like 300 plus TPS tokens per second, I assume. The blog mentions it. Yeah, it's crazy fast, for sure. I mean, I'm tempted to go back to an old school test and give it like our business reasoning one. And just see if maybe it's good at that. I will say 5.3 so far is being very, very good at breaking apart all the pieces into components. We have a noise.js, terrain.js, biomes.js, water.js, clouds.js, atmosphere.js, environments.js, UI.js, main.js.
Wait, which model is this?
5.3.
GLM?
Yep.
How do I get back to the...
We're about 5 minutes in on it. It's working.
Oh, it broke it. Oh, cool. Just broke everything. Well,
all files are written.
It seems like you have to like really tell Gemini exactly what to do and it might not do it. You see? Okay, what if I go over to Terra? Because we got Terra's result on the like...
Yo, we might have gotten a crazy results out of this.
Oh, actually, this is just an intermediate result, but I think it's worth showing anyway because it's actually iterating, right? So it's I gave it the same reference and the same prompt of like just keep iterating until it looks like this reference, but it has already done multiple iterations, whereas Gemini never refused to do more than one. And look at this, Chris.
Oh,
Right?
hey now.
Like it got the mountains in, it got the trees, it picked up like the coloring from the reference. Still by no means
It
like the best
doesn't
result
get like
we've gotten, but
Can you zoom in? It doesn't seem to get the texture of the mountains and stuff, right?
of the mountains.
But way better though. Oh, yeah, actually, that's better.
No, and I think honestly, like with the reference in mind. Oh, actually, let me get it so I can share this whole window. With the reference in mind. Oh, there's another update. Oh, look at that. It's doing the faceting on the water to try to get the same visual style.
That's cool.
So like, yeah. Gemini, my man. And again, the thing that ended up broken was like 4 iterations in with the same first 2 prompts and then additional prompts. This is still not even completed. The second prompt in trying to get the same reference. It's clearer to me which one's closer.
Okay, I got 5.3. It came back in about 6 minutes, 46 seconds.
Oh, you want to grab screen?
I got you. Share screen. Share audio in case it's there, but this looks pretty sick. There's our sun. Look at this, though. We got water with tides. We got clouds. We have speed kind of working. Yeah, speed working. Space cycle going.
Whoa, look at that. Oh.
I mean, it's pretty
I'm
sweet.
loving the glow. That atmosphere glow looks great. I really want to see how GLM pushes it like in challenge mode.
And I don't think we have... Maybe it's just hidden. Probably still a pinch there. This looks beautiful, though. This is really nice. Not knocking this at all. I think the clouds are kind of stagnant, maybe, but... Yeah, clouds are kind of staying with me. But I mean, this came back in 6 minutes. It's pretty sweet. We're used to sitting here for 10, 15. So
so let's give it the challenge mode then.
Yeah. Do you have a prompt in mind, or can we just free ball it here?
Well, I'll write out the same one for Gemini now, and then we can.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. So there you go, chat. I delivered. We did it in the proper harness, and it did great. So you all were right.
Actually, I'm going to give it a different challenge mode. I want to give it the city on the planet challenge mode.
Not the asteroid one? Not to blow it up?
No.
Right, city on the planet. Give the people what they want. John Doe says, I tend to view Gemini models as useful for anything but code. So if you're doing wild amounts of document work, its speed is pretty useful. I could see that. I'm just having trouble trusting its accuracy, but I guess if you're betting it. Take our clouds away. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. Definitely have biomes. I'm loving how the water's looking. That's really cool.
On GLM?
Yeah, we even got some submerged land beneath the surface. It's pretty sweet.
All right, I just took the city prompt and I'll send it in Discord, but I just added a single sentence at the end. I could see there being conceivably some applications where you want it to go like this fast, and so you use Gemini. But the problem is it's just not aligned enough.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't do what it's told. Oh God.
All right. Full send. Let's go. City on planet. Here we go. Now it just looks like a loading screen. Boy. I am excited for some of these on-device models. We've been saying for a long time that is the secret, man. We will get a lot more interesting games and video generation when you can do it locally.
Oh, 100%.
Which is kind of where I thought the legislation should have always been, which is you can generate whatever you want, but you're now liable for whatever goes up. So if you generate Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting, it'll get taken down. You'll get sued. Sounds about right.
I am so curious. Like, the Gemini just doesn't work. I gave it that whole prompt about the city thing, and it was like,
just kicked over.
Well, no, it worked for 40 seconds and then sent me back a broken thing.
It's like, I'd rather die.
Oh my God. Wait, dude, this is
all right. Sure. Let's go. Ship it. Perfect. Production ready.
It also lost all of the challenge mode features of like first person and stuff.
You don't need UI. It's overrated.
It just deleted them.
Bravo. This is a top tier result on the platform or on the channel. This is great.
I love like the city. It's like so bunched together. It looks kind of like, it almost is artistic. Like it almost looks like Planet something, you know, like an ad for like a radio company, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Okay, let's see if we have any. Oh shoot, we lost the.
Back to the Future 2 set a lot of the legal precedent for use of likeness. Is that true? That's a fun fact. I did not know that.
For the what?
Dare Straits versus Back to the Future 2 set a lot of legal precedent for the use of likeness.
Oh, interesting.
Deep hum, is that coming from the game? Or is that me?
The what?
There's like a hum coming from your end.
Okay, so you can hear it.
Yeah.
I think it's this one. But I don't know how to.
Just sounds like before I got sound dampeners for my NAS. I'd just be sitting in my office and I'd hear like a.
Oh.
We really put poor GLM here to work. The last prompt only used 30% of my free credits, so that's pretty sweet.
Not bad, not bad. It's so funny. It gets like the little UI things right, but then like just breaks it.
Yeah. I do like the rainbow stars in the background. That's cool. That's something new.
Well, we almost have a result from.
Okay, Dare Straber gave us some background. They used face casting to make a rubber mask of an actor from the first film who didn't want to act in the second movie. He sued and won. Yeah, there's some weird stuff too where people have sold their likeness for the purpose of making AI models now. Was it Keanu did that? Someone did that recently.
Oh, we're gonna see more and more of that.
Oh yeah. And you got to time that shit well.
Dylan told me no. Dylan said no. I was like, "What are you kidding me?" I was like, "If you're the hack here is like, will there be artists who are like, no, I'm not selling my likeness. Like, I want to be me. Of course there will. There will also be artists who like living artists who are well respected, like maybe Keanu or whoever, who decide like, oh, I'll just do this. But primarily there will be estates who don't give a shit about the art and will do it for the money.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to really have a long-term career in Hollywood, you should scan your face at like peak. Like whatever your peak
right,
is.
right.
You don't have to give it to anybody yet, but get that file. Get that in the background so that you can be like, "Hey, you want like peak Tom Holland in your movie? It's going to cost you. It's not the same as my day rate, but it's, it's a piece." No, I think the artistic community on the internet will be shocked at how quickly the studios want in on the AI.
They already do.
They'll be floored. Like, because they're all like, "Oh no, these folks are going to be like for the art." Oh no, these folks.
I think there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of. There's probably a lot of opportunity there because it's like a lot of this like work for entertainment isn't like as scalable as other stuff, and so people don't tend to go for it. But like the studios are the last people who are like, well, we're gonna go right to the API and build our own thing. Like there's like 8 layers of contractors in between.
Yeah, I think
like think about how many people and companies were involved for like the first video wall to become a thing.
Yeah. I think there's a fascinating argument in the book world because you have like millions of books getting published every month now digitally. People are just cranking out slop books.
Right.
And so the publishers are having to figure out like how does that work? Because legally right now in the book world, anything, if the AI wrote any of your words, then the copyright's not clean and you can't get option for movies or anything else, right? So like that's it. You can't. Even if it was just if the AI wrote any section of it, then it's unclear because then that section wouldn't have any rights because anything written by AI is default public domain. True of the video models too. So like Gossip Goblin's content is technically public use. Like,
well, is it though? No, because there's like the human authoring thing, and he could definitely argue that
gets blurry. Yeah, well, they're gonna have to argue it in court, right?
But I think he, if any, like that type of use where he's spending $1 bajillion and generating all these clips and tweaking and then editing the clips, like that's a very strong argument for this. There's human authoring here.
Oh, agree. But then they would argue, well, the models were trained on copyrighted work, so therefore,
right. But that is a separate like precedent defining thing that they would need to win.
Right. But like, there's a reason he hasn't been optioned by a studio, right? And that's the reason is that ownership's not clear. And even though there you're saying like there is clearly an artistic hand here. There's clearly handcrafting, right? We're not just YOLO prompting there. They're doing thousands and thousands of generations. They have specific style references they use in Midjourney. Like, there's a lot of work going in for sure. And they're going to have to solve this, right? Hollywood wants it too bad. I think a lot of the conversation online is that the rights are going to get defended forever. I just don't buy it. I think the incentive for publishers, the incentive for studios, the incentive for these places is just getting people to buy product. And ultimately, do they really care where it came from? I don't know. I think some will. I think smaller publishers will do a whole human only thing, but I really don't buy that the large places care.
No. The lion's share, it'll all converge on what is like the most economically efficient or whatever, and then you'll have like the A24s, which like sort of make their niche on being the niche.
Well, hence the Chris Sacca bet that like theater would outlive Hollywood, in the sense that having actors and having this really expensive, to Dare Straber's joke, Hollywood doesn't want to have to deal with actors. Yeah, I mean, because you got unions on top of unions talking to unions about being bigger unions. Like, it's insane to get a movie. That's why you get these crazy budgets, right? You're like, why is this movie's budget hundreds of millions of dollars? Yeah, because you got so many unions on top of unions and requirements, and the studios have every incentive to go, hey, if a movie could cost $200 million or under a mil, and we'd make so much more money, because even if that under a mil movie gets a tenth of the viewership of the Odyssey, you make way more money, and that's the goal. That's what they're doing. Literally their fiduciary duty. Anyone else notice how old the weather forecasters are? I think they plan not to hire any new ones. Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
so I've said this about my example
Hot
is,
take. I like
why would you ever in the future, you're making a nature documentary and you can buy David Attenborough's voice.
This is
why would you ever
take.
go with anyone else? Like, David Attenborough is the voice of nature documentaries.
Yeah,
will probably be that for all of history now. Or for the future, I should say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, certainly in there. And like, I don't know, you start to think about if you wrote Harry Potter today or Lord of the Rings today, you'd have a big incentive as soon as this legal stuff gets settled to define the visual style and never let a studio take control, right? You might hire a director, but the power would go down to the world owner effectively. And all the studios could offer you is marketing and distribution. That's it, right? Because you don't need their funding. So I don't know. Get more views.
Yeah, there will always be both. And the question will be like, which way does it shake out, right? Because there will be the YouTube equivalent of, now you can do things that a studio used to do and you don't need their funding. And then there will be like the ultra approach of like, the ceiling also went up of what you can pay for now. Yeah. And so then the studios will exist for that. And like, yeah, but it's the same thing of like, it's literally the Broadway thing of the ceiling of what you can have in a Broadway show now has gone up over the last 100 years. But the total Broadway attendance has gone down.
And the total amount of Broadway shows done. I assume it's gone down.
Maybe. Probably.
Yeah, I'm very curious if it's just a different art form. Like, do we call it something different? You don't call it movies, you call it like Jennies or something?
Yeah. Thought about the Jennies. No, I mean, maybe. I mean, but you don't, you don't call like since movies, we now have vids,
yep.
And shorts now. Now shorts are a thing. Or like whatever you want to, or maybe you call them TikToks or whatever. Vines. I don't know. But like, there are these different formats that come along. Doesn't mean movies are going anywhere, and they'll be generated movies. The same way Minecraft's still a game, even though it's procedurally generated. It doesn't, like, it's not a game, but it is a game. But then it's kind of a sandbox game. It gets its own little like thing. I don't know.
Did you hear that YouTube changed the rule? I saw a clip about this. I have no idea if it's true, but allegedly they're biasing towards replays a lot more, which is doomsday for us. But I even saw like this was in like the hip hop artist react sort of stuff. Like, single view of your videos is now punished relative to repeated views.
Not sure. I mean, that doesn't shock me. When when the Knicks won the NBA Finals, I watched a lot of those videos over and over, and then YouTube kept giving it back to me.
So they're like heavily incentivizing replays. So the nature of what videos you'll see, like all of these long form channels, us included, would be heavily penalized by this. Because like, are you really going to go back and watch our model review of 4.0? No, you're not, right?
Well, what I would say is, yeah, it doesn't seem like. Also, did you just hear that the buzzing stopped? And it's like, now I got so used to the buzzing.
Yeah, John Doe was saying, listening in my car, the bass is wild. Like, you're rocking his car right now.
I don't know how to get this. Okay, there, it's gone.
Oh, I just ran out of quota.
What was I saying? I don't even remember.
Talk about the new YouTube rules.
Oh yeah. You can imagine though, like I don't know, like the Y files is an example for me of like I've gone back and rewatched like a lot of those long form videos. So like some long form content is probably okay. Like some of these like like the high production value like coding adventures that people like Sebastian Legge or like that crew do. Those are highly rewatched long form. So like there is some long form that would probably actually benefit from this, but
Yeah.
probably not like Joe Rogan or like I don't know how rewatched those are.
Podcasts get hit.
They're kind of middle in terms of rewatch. I
We
think some people might end up going back. I don't know. I go back to
even
that
your
Bob
VFX
Lazar one
artists
every once in a
react.
while.
Yeah. Even your VFX artists react and stuff will get pretty hit by that.
Yeah, because they're
I
not
am
getting
sorry,
rewatched.
chat. I don't think I can get you a result on 5.3 unless I buy a plan now. But to its credit, 5.3 did test it. It got a build, and then the build didn't work. So it noticed its error. It said like, hey, I'm hitting this loading screen. That's not good. I need to do more. And then we threw our quota error.
I can show you where we're at on Terra.
Sweet.
So it put the city kind of floating above.
We have created Elysium here on the channel. You're welcome.
yeah. Elysium. Exactly. So that's what we got here. And then I guess while it works on, should I pull up the open space game?
Oh, yes. I mean, we buried the lead. Well,
Yeah,
we got 13 viewers right now. We're cooking. Let's go.
So we've shown this before. It's for y'all regulars. This might be. I've just been like burning all my extra codex quota over time in this one like extra super challenge mode version of the planet prompt basically, and particularly the last couple weeks with like the crazy resets like every 2 days, we've made a lot of progress here. So I can pull it back up again. It's like remember port numbers. Okay, so we can turn off the music. Okay, so this is like a planet sandbox game, Planet Sim, but it's a little bit more developed than some of the ones we've had. So it's got like LOD, so I can fly up into the sky, and actually it's easier if I do it in a ship. I can fly up into the sky, and the planet handles like keeping the right amount of stuff loaded. I can fly to a different planet.
I think we're still seeing Terra right now.
Oh, I see. It gave me a swap prompt. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so this was the other planet I was flying to. This is our ship. Can exit in the back, and then there's like all this procedurally generated like plants and stuff. It's all still a little bit jank, but I've been pushing features over polish at the moment, mostly because it's been like burning extra quota. So you know, pushing features, it's easier for me to like send large requests. Whereas like if I'm polishing, then I'm like more actively sending prompts and stuff.
Yeah.
You can fly over to a different planet.
Oh, look at that music.
Oh shoot. Sometimes it takes a little while for the terrain gen to keep up. We can still land in the ground a little bit.
Accurate.
This one doesn't have trees either. And so for the music thing, I'm not sure if this will. Can you hear this?
Yeah, it's super loud.
Oh, it is. How about
there
that?
You go. That's a respectable volume.
So the music is procedural as well. So you'll see like when we take off and go into space, eventually the music will change to a more spacey, like, let's see.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'll go back to the main planet that has like trees and everything. Oops.
Just go in the water.
I did for a second there.
UFO confirmed. Go underwater, the air, in space.
Can do this as well. Swim down
Look
into
at all
the
those
ocean.
fish.
Oh yeah, we got fish now.
That's sweet.
And the fish are all procedurally generated as well, including their animations. Oh, there's also like, I have these procedural like swim animations. My guy doesn't have hands yet, so don't pay too much attention to that. If you could hear, like the audio also changes, the music also changes when you're underwater. It does like
That's sweet.
a filter of some sort. Okay, and we can go over to like golden hour to see. I'm pretty proud of the lighting I was able to get. We still haven't done like the shadows fight. That's always a nightmare. Like no good way to do shadows. But I was able to get some pretty decent lighting by like generating some reference images that I liked and then having. Uh-oh. We have a
Hard
crash. Yeah, there we go. It's the same crash as before. It's maxing out local storage is the problem. So where's the sun? Okay, so if I back off a little bit, we can get a little more golden hour-y. It's gonna crash every how many ever minutes until I clear local storage. Okay, well,
that's really cool. You should show them the sort of editor functionality to it.
Oh yeah. Here, I'll pull that up in a new window so we get around that storage problem. Is there anything in chat?
No, their streamer saying I keep getting the "you watched this Minecraft video 10 years ago, still interested."
Yeah.
My problem is if my wife and I are watching YouTube at night and we watch just one celebrity interview or little like play some game video, my God, every freaking recommendation is just, you would like to see Tom Holland. Like, no, I just wanted it just once. I didn't need to see a lot of Tom Holland.
Okay, so what can we do here? Okay, so I'll grab I'll craft some tools and I'll make a furnace. And then we can demonstrate so this is like the smelting loop. Oh, I didn't mean to inspect that. Okay, so if I put like coal and an ore and then like give it a spark, then the furnace will start smelting.
This is sweet.
Got my hammer ready to go.
You're ready.
Okay, my metal is ready so I can place it in the world. It's very hot. It's glowing. So okay, so I hammered it into an ingot, and it's still red hot. So I can't pick it up yet. But I haven't added like the water to cool thing. Nice. But so now it's can be, once I can pick it up, then I could like craft it into a sword. The cool thing about the furnace is it's like actually so the crafting system, these are like blueprints. The idea here is that like you can craft without knowing recipes. Like Minecraft is a similar thing. Like there's like a book of things that you can just click to craft. But I wanted like a deeper crafting system, so it's all kind of emergent. So it's not in the full game yet, but this is like the underlying crafting system. So if I want to make that furnace again, let's see, I would just make my cylinder, and then I can make it a shell, and then I can, let's see, like draw an opening. So I opened the top, and then I can also like, let's say, also open the side. And so then the underlying engine, any opening ends up being like storage, so you can interact with it and put stuff in it, like any hollow interior. And the openings register as like air inflow and outflow. So the capability for something to be a furnace is like a combination of its like geometry and the material used to make it. So if I made the same thing out of wood, you could use it to be a furnace, but then it would burn itself,
Nice.
Anyways, this is the kind of stuff I like. These like sort of emergent sim mechanics in games. But you can also use the same system to, let's say, I don't know what's an easy thing to make. If I want to make an axe or something, right? I can just make the handle. The green is recognizing that as something that can be a handle. And then, let's see, I can do a little hub here. And then if I want to make it an axe, then I would use this wedge. And now it's an axe.
So it knows that's an edge because the edge is sufficiently thin.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dare Straber says for assets, maybe it would work to make something where you swipe left and right on assets it generates to rank them and use that info for refinement.
Yeah. So right now, this is not AI. So it's generating. It's like it's like Minecraft style procedural generation. So there's no like training loop, but you can do a similar thing where like I have a lot of like eval, and then the model goes and like tries to like basically like benchmark max whatever my requirements are for the thing.
Yeah.
Now, as Chris was saying before, you could get what's it called? Yeah, you could like do more like with local models, but for now, this deterministic thing is fine at generating the. So this to your question before, Chris, this little purple tip indicates that it realized that it's like pointy.
Pokeable. Let's poke things with it.
So this is a little like spear, I guess.
That's very cool. Well, there you go. We saved the best for last.
Yeah, exactly.
This is pretty sweet, man. You've built like dev tools plus the game plus a user-facing constructor.
Yeah, in like 2 weeks.
That's a pretty wild benchmark for where we're at.
Yeah. Let's see. The last thing, I think we should have a final response. I tried to get it to put the city, Terra to put the city on the planet. So we'll see if we. Okay, no, it was a failure.
It tried.
Yeah, I can show you. It made it curved it to match the planet, but it never actually put it in the planet. Put it on the planet, I should say.
It's stuck on Elysium. It's just trying to predict.
Exactly.
Well, I might have to hop off to go make some kiddo dinner. Kids eat early. But thank you to the greatest chat in all of live streaming. We have a really great Gemini folks. They're super knowledgeable. They're giving us more context all the time, and they're super loyal. So we appreciate that tremendously. You're the reason we show up every week. So hopefully that was fun. We'll have some new models soonish, hopefully. And if not, I think one of these weeks we should probably give that Unreal Engine MCP a chance. See how it does. I'm curious to try that. I can try to get that stood up. But thanks, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out with us. John Doe, I'm deeply interested where Astra falls on 3D work. I feel like 5.6 is probably the first model to start hill climbing for me. Astra hopefully much stronger. Agree.
Yes. 5.6 definitely hill climbs on 3D work. 100%. Alrighty.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Surely we get Astra fail by the end of it. Hopefully. That'd be great. Love to see it.
And we will surely be testing it with y'all then. Until then.
Absolutely. Take care.
See you soon. Take care.